next speaker, Ken Krawchuk. Winner. Winner. Ken Krawchuk.
Mr. Contest Master, you just made my day. What a wonderful thing to hear. Ken Krawchuk, winner. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, if there was only some way that I could make that happen. I've been a Toastmaster now for 8,210 days. If you do the math, that's over 20 years. And in those 20 years, do you know how many times I've entered the International Speech Contest? Well over 20 times. Do you know how many times I've won at the district level? 0. And the only reason I'm here today is because I was the only competitor in my club contest. The clock almost beat me. Time and time again, I just keep losing the whole thing. I keep thinking of what he said, winner. I'd love to hear him say it again. It's a shame he's muted, but it wouldn't be right for him to say that. Because of what value is the form without the substance behind it? Obviously, I need a new way of crafting a contest-winning speech. Something that goes beyond the form, beyond the substance, all the way down to the philosophy of a winning speech. And since this has become a philosophical question, I'm going to need a philosophical answer. So I turned to that expert on winning, the 14th century philosopher, Machiavelli. No, he's actually said some good things. I mean, the man's got a bad rep. But in his signature book, The Prince, chapter 6, he said, if you wish to be considered great, emulate the ways of a great man. That way a tinge of their greatness will rub off on you. Now there are some words to win by. So I made a resolution to become a student of contests. I got my hands on DVDs of the first, second, and third place winners in the International Speech Contest going back 20 years. And thinking that others would enjoy seeing them too, I invited every Toastmaster I knew, and I acquired a venue. Every Thursday night, we got together to watch 2, 3, 4 speeches, and then do a round-robin evaluation of each one. Me, I'm sitting in the corner with my laptop taking notes. Everything everybody said. What was good, what was bad, what we liked, what we didn't like. It didn't take long before we finally came up with a pattern. It turns out all the winners had 3 things in common. Do you want to know what they were? Well, I can't hear you, but I'll tell you anyway. Number 1, they all told vivid personal stories. For example, stories of how they've been trying to win the contest for year after year after year. The second thing they had in common was they all sprinkled humor throughout their speech, especially humor picking on themselves. For example, about how they just can't seem to win the contest. The third thing they all had in common was some repeated theme, word, or phrase that went through the whole speech to give it a backbone, give the structure strength. For example, saying, winner, winner, winner. Oh, I wish that I could. Week after week after week, we got together at our venue on Thursday nights, watching speech after speech after speech, until one day the impossible happened. The phone rings. It's Lance Miller, world champion of public speaking from 2005. Ken, hey, I'm in town on business. I hear you're watching these world champ videos. Do you want me to come by and address your group? I don't know, Lance. We still have another dozen videos to watch. No, of course we invited him over. Can you imagine how intimate that was? A world champ and maybe 15 of us? It doesn't get better than that, does it? But wait, it does get better than that because somebody had to drive him back and forth from his hotel. So for a half an hour each way, I had the man in my car and I grilled him. And I found out his 3 secrets to winning a world championship. All right, I'll tell you. Number 1, tell vivid personal stories. Number 2, sprinkle humor throughout your speech, especially humor picking on yourself. And number 3, have some repeated word, phrase, or theme to give backbone to your structure. Yes, he validated what we learned from watching those videos. But you know, with all of my grilling and questioning, there was one question Lance couldn't answer. Why? Why compete? Well, according to Toastmasters International, there are two main reasons. One is for we the speakers. It gives us an opportunity to showcase our skills in front of a wider audience. But number two is for you, the audience, because it gives you the chance to watch competent speakers in action. Yeah, right. It's more like competent losers in action, if you ask me. No, that's the first lesson Lance told me I had to unlearn. Just because I don't win a contest does not make me a loser. Because I've lost many things in the 8,210 days since I joined Toastmasters. I've lost my fear of public speaking. I've lost my annoying tendency to ramble on and on and on and on. Sometimes anyway. But most importantly, I have lost my fear of losing. Losing is not my shame. Losing is my pride. It's my teacher, my mentor, my friend. And my friend has taught me three things about life, not just about winning speech contests, but about life in general. First of all, it's by losing that you learn what not to do. It's by losing that you get to watch winners, to see what you should be doing. It turns out that it's only through losing that you finally succeed. In other words, losing is winning. And I'm going to keep right on losing until the day that I win. So my fellow Toastmasters, that's this Toastmasters resolve. What's your resolve? What vivid personal story are you waiting to tell? What humor do you plan to put into it? Always remember what your goal is. Keep it firmly in mind, whatever it's going to be, whether it's a word, a phrase, or a theme. And keep going, and one day, I guarantee you, you're going to hear that magic word, winner. Mr. Contest Chair.